Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be talking about week three of Doubles Derby. Yeah, I guess we're in the third week of the tour now. Goes by fast. After this week, we'll be more than halfway done with the regular season. Shout out to having six teams. At first, I was happy that there were six teams, but now I'm not, so I digress. But, anyways, I might do a brief overview of last week's results, but also I'm lazy, so probably not. And I think most people just care about the predictions anyway. Because there's not really that much to go over when you can just watch the replays yourself. All right, so we're going to start off with Ice Riders versus Turbo Blaze. Oh, I guess I should do a brief standings update anyways, from last week. I think we have a spreadsheet now. Okay, but it's not
We
updated, so
do.
I'm not going to find it. Okay, so Ice Riders, actually I should find it in case it's updated.
It's pinned on
Yeah,
Derby
it's in
channel.
Derby channel.
Man, sometimes, you just gotta put it on the forum. Like, it's not that hard. I'm complaining about nothing. Okay, and we have no information. Nice. Oh, I guess we have the points.
Yeah, the standings are correct. It just doesn't have the points all there for some reason. I mean the record all there for some reason.
Okay, so this is just differential. Okay, okay. So we have presumably, I guess, Ice Riders or Spatial Week in first, which is ironic because I think I rated them pretty badly. The Ice Riders in second, not surprising. This team was kind of stacked from the beginning. And then closely followed by Gallop of the Gods and Red Spike Redemption, who have had who split their weeks. The first two teams have not lost a week yet. And Tack and Cutters are the only team that has not won anything. Unfortunate. Um, But yeah, last week, Ice Fighters beat the Pac-Man Cutters, and I'm pretty sure I got like the majority of these predictions wrong, to be honest. Um, but I think I predicted the result correctly, maybe. I don't know. I forgot. And then Spatial Week defeated the Turbo Blaze. This was kind of shocking, to be honest. Maybe less shocking with the context that Turbo Blaze is missing one of their better players, um, which I think had broad implications for the lineup in general. Um, but yeah, Spatial Week again proving to be a much stronger team than I thought they would be. That's crazy. And then my team, the Gods, beat Shister's team. Hashtag Shifter sucks or something. So yeah, that's the standings right now. Uh, and so this week we have Ice Riders versus Turbo Blaze, Gallop of the Gods versus the Tacon Cutters, and then Red Spec Redemption versus Spatial Week. Um, Overall, I guess it's a little bit too early to be thinking about like playoff implications, but I think like if Spatial Week wins this week, they probably lock playoffs already, to be honest, just because it's a really short regular season. Same thing probably for Ice Fighters as well. Well, you kind of have to do really bad to not make playoffs. I guess it's still probably too early to tell, but like if these two teams do well this week, like they're probably in really good shape. Okay, so first off for Ice Fighters versus Turbo Blaze, we have Staraptor versus Raph. Turbo Blaze finally putting Raph in. I think this is definitely a stronger lineup than what they had before. I think like the way they move the slots around is probably beneficial, although I think like Hiss and DPP is a little bit suspect, but like I think it's better than what they had last week. Um, Last week it was I think Log Ice was kind of struggling in Aptex. And then both their SV slots lost, which is unfortunate. So I kind of agree with moving Rat Packer back to Natdex, keeping laptops in national decks, and then I think I kind of agree with this. It's still like a little weird. I think they're not going to be like fully like I think they're not going to be at their like best possible lineup until they get ESM back, which I think is like pretty soon. Um, but but yeah, that's how it goes, I guess. So first off, we have Staraptor versus Raph. I think I'm probably leaning Raph here. I think like Staraptor did okay the first couple weeks. Oh, I guess he's 2-0. I guess that kind of changes. Let me just double check. I don't know if this is updated. Okay, yeah, Staraptor, one of three 2-0 players. Yeah, I'll go with Staraptor. I think with that context, it's probably a pretty safe bet. Raph hasn't really played in a while. Um, it's always kind of a little bit weird with Raph, depending on like motivation or time or whatever. But this is a good game, honestly. Um, I think we've started to actually see like a shifting of some better players into the SV slots. I guess actually that's not true. I don't know, but
No, it is because we took Schuster out of SV, so it's better now.
yeah, true. But
Sub into.
what did I see that made me think that? Oh, I guess Waffle subbing in is probably correct for Ice Riders. I think like he didn't really want to like start at the beginning. But he's definitely one of like the players on their team that they got for like a lot of value. They got him for 3K, and he's like a fairly good player. But I think Staraptor versus Raffle leans Staraptor. What are your thoughts, Jello?
I'll take up the other end. I'll take Raph. Um, I think it's a bit of a risky pick because Raph, um, as I hear, hasn't been performing the best in OSDT. Um, a bit of an underperformance right now, but you know, Turbo Blaze need the win, and in the clutch, I'm never gonna go against Raph. They can at their peak. They're one of the best players around. Um, SEL level performer, and it's like I also think it's very much worth noting that Faye is the SV2. When the two of
Yeah,
them
I
are
agree.
playing together, that's a buff and is. So I'm gonna go ahead and bold Raph here.
Yeah, that's fair. Waffle versus Faye. I'm gonna go with Faye here. I think this is pretty close, honestly. Like Faye is like kind of washed. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, but Waffle is also like hasn't really had like a really good last derby, but hasn't really been too impressive since then. Um, it's kind of even. It's like I think Faye is like a better player, but it's like Faye has had the longer time away from Mons than than Waffle, but like Faye also looked pretty good the first couple weeks going 1-1. And losing to Charlotte is not really like a. I'm not gonna like really hold that against him very much. What are
Yeah,
your
worth
thoughts?
worth noting. Um, in the actual game, it was to a um full para from T Wave.
Oh, I didn't even watch. Yeah,
Yeah, it was actually a pretty good game. It was like a scrim snarl, but yeah, it got Faye had a E-Speed D-Knight that got paired on a crucial turn and didn't really have enough to turn the game back. Um,
okay, but like you loaded like in Blue Gouging Fire Glamora, like you deserve to lose. I'm sorry. Like
True.
that's just how it works.
I think that's kind of been the story of the Turbo Blaze thus far. The brings are um yeah, this was it. I think he just got paired here and
Brick Break is
uh,
crazy.
it doesn't come back in. I don't even remember. Anyhow, I think the brings have not um matched the prestige of some of the players on the Turbo Blaze. A lot of people there known for their prep. Log has got a bit of a Logis has
That's a
got a bit
big
of a
crit, by the way.
reputation. Rat
Oh,
Packer
okay. But
jail.
immediately,
Yeah, the game was over by that point. Um, but I this team is really strong, and I trust them to turn around. If they can just give Faye a better team with a better matchup here, um, I think Faye will get it done against Waffle.
that's also an unfortunate crit.
Yeah.
Let's see. Um, but yeah, I mean, I like this team for Charlotte a lot more than this one. This one's just cringe, man. What are we doing? This is why everyone hates SVDOU or something. Okay. Old man yells at Cloud or something. Okay. Burns versus Rat Packer. Uh, this is interesting. Both these players are 0-2, but like in neither case is that like reflective of like their skill, obviously. Um, which is crazy that one of these players is going to be 0-3. Like, hello.
That is
Um, hmm. I think I gotta go Burns here. I think like if you're like Ice Riders, he like you kind of need him to get a win. Not really even for the team, but just like for morale, right? Like, uh, and I think Burns is just like a slightly better clicker than like Rat Packer. Um, and I think like considering like who the Naptech support is on Ice Riders, I think like the building is not really something I'm like going to put a whole lot of weight on here. Um, but I do think like Rat Packer has like much greater experience building the tier, but like also like Z is pretty good at doing that as well. So like it's pretty even. This is
yeah.
It
I
should
don't
be
know.
noted that Ice Riders ND slots probably get stronger in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's also true.
Mhm. I this one's interesting. As far as I can tell, especially with Raph and Faye and the SV slots, I wouldn't wager these guys are gonna um build themselves too confidently, and then laptops and ND2. I think Rat Packer's got a lot of building to do. Um
Mhm.
in this thing here. And he's always been very active on any team he's ever in. Um so you can definitely assume that like he'll handle it just fine. Um, but I don't know. I wasn't too big of a fan of the week one not deck spring, and week prior they found themselves in another bad matchup too. So it seems like the tour isn't looking too good for Epic. But you know what? To be the contrarian, I'll go ahead and bold Rat Packer. They actually have a bit of a history of starting slow and then ramping up and doing pretty well. I think they started like O2 and DPL and then finished X2 or X3 or something really impressive. Um so crazy to say Sperific O3. Um but why not make it interesting? I'll go Rat
Fair.
Packer.
All right, Z versus laptops. Thoughts? I need to think about this one a little bit more.
Um I'm gonna say Z clears, I'm not gonna lie.
Penis.
All right, man. Can someone kick this guy from the call?
Yeah, let's cook this guy.
Says the only guy with the power to do that in the call. Yeah, I think I'll go with Z as well. It just feels like weird to predict like Turboblade's Natex going 0-2, you know? That's kind of the only thing giving me pause here. Um, but laptops did, and Z looked a lot better in Natex last week than laptops did, I will say. I thought that the laptops, the card game was like one of the games of all time. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, there were parts of that game for both players where I was like, "Hello, what's going on?" I thought Z versus Frixel was supposed to be the drunk game, man. Um,
It got linked late, so I didn't see most of it.
Lap.
I didn't watch that game at all.
let's see. Or it was mostly from Hikaru's end. Hikaru just like had like a completely monumental lead or something, and then just didn't click protect for like 4 turns in a row, and then click protect like 3 turns in a row. I got called in every single one, and then still somehow won. Also, that has to be like a crazy high roll, man. Like, there's no way Wild Charge just kills there, right?
Well, when you're
Um
wasted on max attack hands,
That still should
yeah,
not kill.
if it's max and this is no bulk, I think it
Okay, but like, if you're no bulk, like, you're surely selling, right? Like, hello?
I mean, it could be. I mean, that's the thing, right? We gotta see if they're running the good sets.
no, it's probably just a minimal benchmark.
Possibly.
But yeah, Laptops like fell like pretty far behind in this game and then still managed to claw it back.
Mm. I gotta say, by the way, um, I don't think we got the Spatial Week left yet, but I think their NetDeck slot has gotten like 4 incredibly plus matchups thus far.
Oh yeah, this matchup's
Great
incredibly
for
plus for Hikaru.
Um, a great brings all around from the NetDecks and the Spatial Week.
I'm proud of Hikaru. He's adapted to the metagame well. Knew we added him after NDPL, but damn.
Yeah, see, this was a turn. Like, why'd you let the Gardevoir get chipped, man? Like, hello? And then he protects his Gardevoir the following turn. And then Focus just gets double. But Focus is just dumb, so it lives anyway.
I also think he glides here at the end, which is, I think worse in the long run, but I don't know. Laptop so. And that's the game here. Yeah, it was a little Mickey. Whereas Z Frixel was a pretty clean, solid performance from both players, honestly.
Yeah. I don't really think Laptop split it that badly, honestly. But I do think Z had looked a little bit better and to get the win, so I'll go with Z.
Yeah.
Alright. Madara versus Lagice. Unfortunately for Lagice, Madara is 2-0 and Lagice is 0-2. I'm going Madara. Madara's looked really good in DUU. I think the tier switch probably benefits Lagice and gives him like a good chance to like kind of like reset, hopefully, right? But I think like Madara is kind of a tough draw to look to do that into because Madara's just looked really good in DUU so far.
Definitely very tall order for Log. I would usually I would when Log is motivated, I think Log is as a support and as a player, I've seen do a lot with like getting really good brings and having really good prep, but like into Madara, I think it's fair to assume that's not going to be an advantage here. Yeah, Madara is a pretty easy bold here, unfortunately.
All right, Red Zone versus Seifa. I said a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week, that I'm not going to really bold against Seifa for the entire tour. So yeah, I'm bolding Seifa. Red Zone did get like a pretty decent win last week, but I think Seifa is like one of like the literally just, in my opinion, the most impressive DLC player that I've seen play DLC. And like nothing, he's like 2-0 right now. Like nothing has like happened to change my opinion. So that's gonna be my bold, personally.
Insider information, I saw Red win the scheduling war. I'm going Red Zone. That's all I need to see.
Fair enough, man.
I also think I do think this is I like the tag Safe Can't Cook because they do quite the opposite. They do overheat in the kitchen sometimes. And I wouldn't be surprised if I gotta imagine it's C and Red collaborating here. They might see a weakness or two in the builder that's exploitable because it definitely can be the case. So not the most comfortable build, but I will build against Seifa here.
All right. Nadando versus Hiss. So Nadando just beat Bagel last week. Thoughts? Is this the GOAT?
This has got this in the bag.
Yeah,
This is not this in the bag.
the game was a pretty the game was a pretty good game. Bagel, unless it was like no protect, I didn't see the thing, but I think he got surprised by a Bronzong explosion in the last second.
Yeah, he
How are we
didn't
gonna
call
be
the
surprised
explosion
by
at all.
Bronzong explosion in the explosion format?
Mhm.
No
Um,
I
offense.
think the bigger issue for Bagel
I
that
think
game
it was
was
just
just
a
not
50-50
playing a
and
very
Bagel got
solid
the
game.
50-50 wrong at the end of the game. That's all it was. But
yeah, I think it was a pretty. I don't know what the set was, but it's something it had like they kind of had to be clicked there, so it was a bit of a thrown game. Um, and also good bring here by Nadando to the Shukahitran with
I think yeah,
um
I'm gonna go with Nadando because I think I don't remember the last time I saw his play DPP. Um, it just this is just like feels like a weaker like slot to me. Like I think this is like a really strong player if you put him in the right tier. But I feel like Turbo Blaze, the way their lineup's been, they've like kind of had to like sack the slots the last few weeks.
No,
With
his
like
won a bunch of DPP
hey,
tours
hey,
already.
hey.
Like he's very proficient in the tier.
yeah, but like Nadando is like a DPP main basically, like and has like Z support, right? Like I think it's like it's kind of a toss up because I just don't really have a whole lot of information to go off for both of these players. But I think
Nah, his takes it. His
I
always
rate the
takes the
Z
hand.
support higher, basically. Um,
For those that
This is
don't
just
know,
a
we have
an incorrect
biased pig
opinion.
warrior here taking off his players. But yeah, I'm gonna agree with the his take. I think it's definitely not as um I don't think it's a walk in the park matchup here at all. Especially with Z and Red are like those are great supports to have in DPP. I mean, I literally just stole a red team to take my win last week. These guys definitely can cook. Um, but his can also cook, and is I rate his very highly in this tier. Personally, I think he's sneakily one of the best at it. Um, and I would, especially since they need the week, I expect his to get it done.
all right, Z versus Ninja Snapple, ADB coin flip tier. All right,
They
let's
don't
see.
have boom anymore. It's not a coin flip tier.
I'm down for
Still
the coin flip.
there.
I'm
All
down
right,
for
it
the
was
coin flip.
Tails versus
All
Ninja
right,
Snapple.
Ninja
Here we
Go
Snapple.
work
go.
Snapple. Go work Snapple.
I think the guy who loads hair across more will win.
Bro, Shister's always got some like new brain rot for like every fucking tier, like every fucking week, man. You don't love this
It's
guy.
Ironically,
not
that's
me
a
that's doing
prediction
the
to
hair
save
across shit.
because
It got brought twice last week, maybe 3 times. I don't remember.
Alright, he should let Broken Sun in ADV.
absolutely.
I mean, there is a sun sample.
Wasn't it
Uh,
wasn't it a C replay of like them bringing aircraft and like ADV Ubers? So is that a? I guess that's a C prediction from Sis there. But yeah, I'm
both these
gonna
players are
vote.
1-1. I think this is an interesting matchup. Um, I did see that C lost last week. Otherwise, I'd be very confident in like building them for the rest of the season. Um, let's see.
I mean, the pool's pretty stacked.
Definitely is.
The
Yeah, but
pool is for
there's
Mighty
like some
Balls. You
players who
can't
are
do
like
that.
really proven in their tier, you know. Well, I guess except for like versus Jima, you know. But C is definitely one of the players I'd rate highest in the ADV pool.
Like, there's literally only a single person there that hasn't competed in a trophy tour. Wait, I don't think Yoda has, but he probably could.
I
Like,
don't know. I think hmm, I give it to Ninja. Ninja's been more active in the tier recently.
good take.
It's definitely it's not a walk in the park matchup for either player here.
I'll go with my coin flip.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll go Tails. I just think it's like I think so long as neither player I expect both players to be very competent in the builder, and as so long as that's the case, I think I literally just go on who's luckier, and I'll wager it'll be snaps this time.
All right, let's go. We rationalized our coin flip. Good job, Yellow. Okay,
Thank you.
let's see.
I voted 6-2.
All right, Yellow. Gallop with the Gods versus Tachyon Cutters. I think Volcarona, VGC, Eric, Sea Life, XQ, Frixel, Gasai, Bagel, and SMB are all gonna win. I think we're cooked. Thoughts?
I agree.
I think
We're
Volker
number one pack watch of
All-Star
every
match.
Aragon team ever.
I got
People
I
gotta
got
I,
a good one.
I
respect
can
those
sit here and
two
predict
kids.
your thoughts for you if you want.
All
Those
right,
guys are
Victor,
good
go
at the
ahead.
game.
As opposed to the gods who are all bad at the game.
Except for Sawa. That guy's actually good. I'll change my DLC prediction. That guy's goated. Hey,
I've never seen Chris Numbers lose except week 1.
Chris, Eric, Aragon, XQ, Nito, Gasai, Bagel, Gma.
I disagree. I got Volcarona, Eric, Aragon, Eat Foods, Nito. That deals with a toss up.
SMB versus Jima is going to be
Priscilla's likelier to show up to the game. DPP is Jello, and ADV is like.
I think Gma wants it more in ADV.
Yeah,
My only
here's
opinion.
my ADV prediction.
True. You know why I can't make an ADV prediction?
Hey, flip again.
All right, got you. All right,
there
Jamal,
you have it,
let's go.
Specifically for the
Content
SV tiers, I think Chris is like kind of particularly prone to being C teamed, and Volcarona has shown on multiple occasions that they're willing to like heavily scout and heavily C team.
Volcarona,
Of course, I'm literally telling
Chris
that
Numbers
to a manager
pulls out
of the Gallop of the Gods.
Pulls out Chris Numbers rain. They're not ready.
Exactly. No,
I
not ready.
I don't think
and Eric
scouts at all.
Eric's very motivated right now.
Like they used their ladder tour team last week, and they subbed in the first week.
Well, did you see?
Oh, they too
Was it against Hilo and OSDT? I mean, sure enough, they already had that prep from DLT, but like, I think, with actually proper support and a week to prep, like they will be prepping. I very much believe that.
I'm not allowed to bold against players who beat me directly, so.
GG's.
You want to provide any actual feedback, or is that?
Okay, the one thing I will say
just respect the VGC
there's
kids.
one prediction that we have to make for this week that's more important than any of the games. Will Gasai show up to her game on time? Thoughts?
Hell no.
That's why I chose Asoa.
On time
I'm gonna go against.
Okay, on time is a given. Will she show up at all?
No. She shows up. She's O2. She's gonna be motivated.
True.
This is insane disrespect.
No, because like Gasai is like really good, but like it's just like kind of inconsistent on showing up. And as long as she shows up.
Did she play last week?
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
Red zone, though.
5 minutes late.
I thought it was 15. I saw someone like crashing out over Gasai being late again, so I assumed it was longer. Okay, my bad. Okay.
This time I think it'll be shorter, but it'll still be late.
Fair enough. This is a good DLC game. Okay. Red Spec Prediction versus Spatial Leak. All right, Mike versus Charlotte.
I'm gonna be real here. Charlotte cleans.
Yo, facts.
This is very true.
Mike. More like Junior Malt Mike or something. I don't know.
Wow.
You fraud, Mike.
Unbelievable.
This is actually a really good SV matchup. One of the best we've had. Both players are 2-0. I think I will probably give it to Charlotte just because of like a greater amount of Mons experience, I think like if Charlotte's like doing well in like a team tour, like I'm more like when a player who's like been around a long time is doing well on a team tour, you kind of have like confidence that they're like going to continue to do well. Mike has had like good results recently, but I think
Mike
just
had
does
to
not have
ask
the
me
Mons
how it was.
experience.
He's about to get player diff.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, speaking of player depth, I think we should discuss
My
just
own manager is talking about getting player diff.
Like
This is crazy.
publicly.
What's up?
He's such a
The
hater.
person on my
Dude, no,
OSP
literally.
fantasy draft will be victorious. I have faith.
I'm really excited for this match. I'm like really excited for this match.
Yeah, it's a good one.
You're ready to break out
It's
your
a
wallet,
tentative
buddy.
Charlotte bold for me, but
Yeah, no, Charlotte
just to
actually
piss off my
in
friend, of
scheduling,
course. Just to piss off my friend.
Charlotte in scheduling was like, yeah, get ready. Something like, I'm ready to win for charity, and I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, you're Crook fan. All right,
Yeah, no.
Kusai versus Seraphs. Thoughts?
As
just-
we've always
I'm just
said,
gonna-
Eric
I'm just gonna
Kusai
do-
is criminally
I'm just gonna
underrated.
do the next 5 minutes.
I think he takes it.
I don't think Terakusai is criminally underrated. There may be a little underrated. I think fairly regularly they get the credit. But
Did
I
they go
don't-
for like 7K or something this tour?
6K, same thing
you
as me.
think they should have been more?
Yeah, they should be like 9 or 10.
Interesting take. They're
newer.
I
They're newer, guys.
was really, really unimpressed with the brings from Red Spec last week. In outside of the Nails game, in ND and DLC and SV, a lot of not the best prep.
You're saying my game was bad prep? Okay, buddy, you clearly just don't know your
I was
stuff.
playing Roblox all week. I was literally playing Roblox all week. My bad, Jello.
Right. I will trust that this week the brings will be better because this is a team that has prepped really well, which is why they're in first place. And if that's the case, I will trust not Mike. Mike is cooked. But
Thanks, buddy.
I will trust Terakusai to get it in over Seraphs. I think if the matchup is good, Terakusai will play it to like a level of competency to get it done. They're a very consistent player.
Yeah, Seraphs is kind of like a wild card. I think like they have really good fundamentals, but just like haven't like played DOU enough to like really like instill a whole lot of confidence, you know?
They won last week versus Rat Packer.
Yeah. It's a close game. I think like Seraphs is a better Mons player overall, but Parakusai is more of a doubles player in general, right? I'll give the edge to Seraphs. Just out of like winning last week, you know, but I think like I said before, I think Terakusai is like an up and coming player, so looking to see big things here. I'm getting it's probably a good thing that Turi is getting a chance to play SV as well. Because unfortunately Natdex is Mickey. Just kidding. But I think I'm excited to see how Turi does in SV. Because I mean like Natdex is one thing. And it's obviously like all doubles formats are basically the same. But I'm still excited to see Turi in a new format. This is a highlight for me personally. All right. Natdex. I'm sorry. I don't really see Voltix beating Shister. I'm just going to get that out of the way. I think every time I've seen Shister play Voltix, he's pulled up with like the most like hilarious C team of all time. Nails versus Akaru was a closer game because I think like Spatial Week has just done like really really good prep. But I do think like you got to give advantage to Nails. This is a really good game though. Like the other people who did predicts already noted that this is like one of the best games of the week. I mean that might just happen every single time Nails plays, so you never know. But I think like advantage Nails, but if the Spatial would continue to do like really good Natdex prep, like this could easily go the other way. But I mean I'm gonna just go with Shister against Voltix. I think that matchup is a little bit uneven, just based on like the times I've seen those two play each other specifically.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I don't think it's uneven necessarily. I wouldn't be surprised at a Voltix win, but I'm definitely gonna bold Shister confidently here. I think Voltix's strength has been like the really good prep. But I think it might be hard to win in the builder against a player like Shister.
I guess Voltix is 2-0, Shister is 0-2, but Shister was also playing SV, so it's kind of like a blank slate. I don't know. Kind of, a lot of these matches just depend on like how early in the week Shister crashes out, if at all. You know, like does Shister do good prep before crashing out and play Roblox?
Y'all are glazing crazy. I got Voltix 6-0.
All right, facts. You know what? Actually,
Yeah, I
never
got
mind,
Voltix too. I got Voltix too.
Damn, Mike the contrarian.
All right, Vespi versus Actually in DUU. This is a really good matchup, honestly. This is actually
I mean,
fire.
every matchup in DUU is really, really good. There's not a single person that's below 5 figures.
Yeah, fair enough. But this is
I'm gonna bold
particularly
against Act.
good one.
Sorry,
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna bold against Act because he voted do not ban on the fish. And at the same time, it's terrifying that Act doesn't think that that shit is broken. Maybe he knows what we don't. However, I expect Fespi to bring the fish and win with it. That's what I think is gonna happen. Close game though. It's very interesting.
Shout out to Bad Bask and then Shister immediately posting the voting results. You guys remember that?
Yes, we do.
All right.
Ban broken fish.
I'll lean Act. I think Act is just like a slightly safer pick, but I do think this is a really good game, and I'm excited to watch it. And I will probably miss it somehow, but yeah, this is a really good game. I'm looking forward to watching it. All right, Para versus Akant.
I think
Para is 0-2, but I think it'd be disrespectful to Para to bolt against him here, honestly, just out of like experience gap. Unless I'm vastly not in the know about Akant's DLC career.
he got to DLC Cup finals.
Okay.
Yeah, they got
And
individual
Fidel
results.
in Circus.
They're in LPL
He
right
knows
now.
the tier,
as well.
like definitely. But
Mhm.
I don't think I've seen them bring anything like unique.
Mhm.
I'm not too confident in their building, and I think Para just skill diffs them as a player and a builder. So I just think Para would take it
All right.
like 90% of the time.
I'm definitely not worried about AK Hunt in the builder with Voltix and Act on the team. But so Para is definitely a question mark. But I think I'm gonna agree with Aragon. I think especially because Red Specs kind of need a weak win here. It'd do really good for them, seeing as they're 1-1. Going 1-2 now would be really unfortunate. And I think in the when it matters, especially in the clutch, I'm gonna take the more experienced, known good paraplegic versus unproven, AK on.
All right. Hegged versus Dad 1.
Add one next question.
Yeah,
Kegged.
Dad 1 next question.
Nope. Kegged. Get kegged, loser. I believe in
That's
the
just
Thespial.
it's in the same way that I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna bowl against Seifa until he loses. I'm not gonna bowl against Dad 1 until he loses. You know, like that's just like how it goes in DPP.
I think Keg is a little above his pay grade here.
Yeah, true.
Nope.
I wouldn't
Keg wins this shit.
Yeah,
He's gonna have Fespi on call.
Bro, if SB is
The
ghosting
ghosting
him,
allegations in the Aragon video is crazy.
he'll
Man.
still lose.
I'm
But
not trying to accuse anyone of ghosting, man. Like, Actually, I am.
This is, yeah.
This guy
Disclaimer.
Schuster, I think he's being
Totally
ghosted.
real.
I think Mike is ghosting Schuster, guys. Thoughts?
I would never.
This is
I
very
am
Oh,
too
yeah,
true.
good to be
Schuster's
ghosting his
ghosting
gameplay.
Mike. All right.
I think
I
a much
know.
better player would have to go Schuster, such as 5x5, but that's just my take on the matter.
If you watch my OSDT losses, Schuster ghosted me in those.
Oh, okay.
If you see my wins, those were all me.
Schuster's actually 2-0, and Mike is avoiding charity payments by ghosting. Instead.
I think if Kegged was in an SV2 or something, like in a bit of a weaker pool, I could see them doing a bit better. But I think the DPP pool is just full of really strong players, and they're a little above their pay grade. I don't expect any other wins from this player, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The only person to ever avoid being kegged.
True. Maybe I'm just goated, and they'll go
Well, that
X1.
clearly can't be true. Next question. Okay.
All right.
All right. Yoda versus Amaranth.
Obviously a fun game.
Hold on. Flip the coin.
Oh yeah. Facts.
All right,
Thoughts?
Amaranth.
All right. Okay. That's good. Yoda has looked good though in ADV.
Yoda has
in all
looked
seriousness.
actually phenomenal. Actually,
Yeah.
Not
This is like
driving
actually an
here.
insane first 2 week wins. I don't know if I could hold against Yoda after that.
this is the best I've seen Yoda play in a team tour in a long time. Better than even the he didn't have a bad DPL run at all, but
The SMV week was pretty close, but
this is
the win against Gmo was really, really clean.
it was very dominant. Yeah, one in the builder definitely played better as well. Yeah, really impressive from Yoda. However, I believe in the coin. I think he's gonna get hexed by Amaranth, and Amaranth will not want to go 0-3.
All right. I guess that's it. Any final thoughts on Doubles Derby Week 3? Other than
Yeah.
Have you guys predicted against Voltex every single week? Even though he's 2-0?
my bad, man. My bad.
I'm just thinking about it. 'cause I
Schuster is
think
going to lose.
what he played? He played Burns, and then was that a matchup?
No, he
Don't
played Kunal, and he loaded up
He played
Covert
Kunal.
Cloak
Oh, it was Kanal, and then
Then he
this
played
like
Log Eyes.
crazy
Covert Cloak
CT
Pot
move. Yeah.
into
I'll
full room.
load Mega Galele into Voltex. Yeah, he'll
All
get a
right, I
free
changed
game.
my prediction. Voltix is winning.
I told you, man. I told
He
you.
played Log Ice last week as well.
Hmm.
What did I bold Log Ice there?
No, you might have bolded. I don't remember this one. You may have bolded him.
Because if I bolded Log Ice there, like I actually was kind of disrespectful to Voltix
It's not
for
that
predicting against him
disrespectful.
twice.
Let's put
Okay,
some
no.
respect
Okay.
on his name.
I did.
Okay, no, I was
Alright.
just
They're
talking
just trolling me, man.
talking crazy.
Bull is a good
Just
player.
talking-
I just feel like there's like some players matchups were like one of them
No,
is just
no,
like
I-
slightly more neurodivergent than the other. So like it just like unfortunately like it doesn't go
I
their way,
remember-
right? Like
Chister Prep versus Voltage last time. I remember
Alright.
this.
Do I have anything else to say here?
What are the overalls? Let's close it out.
I think I said Seraptor, Faye. I think I said Ice Rider 6-2 against Turbo Blaze. Unfortunately,
said
like the
Turbo
Turbo Blaze
Blaze.
lineup is like it just doesn't impress me until I have ESM back. I think like it's just like kind of LARP without him.
I said the opposite. I said 6-2 Turbo Blaze.
Yeah, alright, man, you're crazy, bro. Okay. Output the Gods, 08 versus Tacton Cutters, unfortunately. And then let's see.
Jello was so close to having perfect predictions.
Only 6 off.
I think I predicted 4-4 in this one.
We
Yoda, Dad 1,
actually won
Parallax,
6-0
Chister,
and
Nails, Raps.
dead game the last two.
I predicted 5-3 Red Spect.
Okay, that's gonna be the video. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.